Hello and welcome. I'm Zombie Kitty and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. Ignore, this is self-isolation haircut apparently. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable. So I just want to quickly explain what was going on with the last video of this. I took it off the live stream that was a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to keep that particular half of it just because there was things that happened that I've never experienced before in the game. However, the video quality, I just wasn't happy with it, and actually it got worse as the live stream went, as that particular live stream that I captured went on. So I was like, okay, well, I still want to finish.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of the game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing
Narrator,
excellent.
be quiet. I'm trying to explain
If he just
something.
stays right where he is, I'm sure
I'm trying to
he'll
explain
keep
something.
up that
Shush.
good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I decided that, you know, I wanted to actually finish off the series and do the rest of the endings. So I've written down the endings that I still need to get. So they're on my phone next to me. So let's go. So the first one is that.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay, so that's one of them. One of them is just closing the office door and deciding not to go out. So the next one is jumping out the window.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Ooh! Okay, so weird things are still going to happen. Because you've never said that before. And again, like I said in the last video, said that a lot in my live stream. So I think, from what I remember, you've got to get up on here, but I don't remember how to do it. How do I do this? You've got to get up on there. There. Oh, okay, there we go. Got it. Come on. Yes. Okay, jump out the window. Go. Hello?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary
Yes, I did.
into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No?
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration?
So this is what I'm doing, though.
This is Rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Now, does he just stop talking? I've never clicked the other option because I know what the yes option is. Can I click on this? Oh. Oh, you literally just leave me here. Okay, fair enough. Okay, begin the game again. I'm not going to do the other option only because I know what it already is and I remember what it is. So the other option is him basically saying like, oh, this is different. Yeah, the other option is him literally going, well, I don't really know how to convince you, but you can literally just quit and retry. And then he starts singing a random song, and that just lasts forever until you like quit and restart. But I'm glad I kind of came back to this game because I haven't played it, according to my Steam account, I haven't played it in about 3 years. Which means I've now got to wait another 5 years for the achievement. I mean, you can change the clock and stuff, but no, I can't be bothered. But yeah, I'm glad I came back to this game. This is one of my favourite games.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Am I doing that? Yes, I am. So, door on the left. So I am going to listen to what you're saying.
Yet there was not a single person here.
No, there wasn't.
Feeling a wave
We've
of
heard this all
disbelief,
before, that's why I'm
Stanley
talking over
decided
it.
to go.
We have our new product. I mean, it doesn't really matter what they do. Okay, let's do this. Oh, heck. I didn't realise that opened outwards.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
Yeah.
So he turned around and got back on track.
No, I didn't. I wasted time doing this. It's nice.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow.
Stationary.
Just an empty broom closet.
It's a wrench.
No reason to still be here.
Nice. It's nice and quiet. Apart from the light
It was
buzzing.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
So sweet fuck all is what he's trying to say. No, it's just too polite though.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yeah.
Standing around doing nothing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's
Please
fun.
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
See, I don't know if he's talking to me, the player, or Stanley now.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yeah.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
Fair enough.
But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
You know what? Fair enough. I don't know what else to tell you.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
You spelt that wrong.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Fair enough. Tum-de-dum. Oh.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay, this is just really low-hanging fruit, dude. Stop offending me.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Yes.
Got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Cool.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Now he's talking about me,
It's
the player.
indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Hang on, what if people were wearing earphones? They wouldn't hear that. Okay, so there is an option, so let's come out.
Ah, second player.
Hello.
It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Au contraire, you underestimate me.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky.
Okay.
I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Yeah, okay, so that's one of them. But you've got to stay there for a while. That's the thing with this game, is there's some things that you have to wait around for to actually get a particular path. Well, this isn't really a path, but like, I guess an Easter egg? Dunno. Okay, so this particular ending is the first ending that I ever got. And when I remember when this came out, and I think I spoke about this in the last video actually, a lot of my friends and roommates had this game. Now, I'm really picky with games. I like to know what the gameplay is and what it's about before playing it. And everyone was telling me, like, don't look this one up, just play it. And then eventually I think it was my uni roommate, because I was at university at the time, was like, okay, I'm just gonna show you what this game is, because he already had it. And he said, like, okay, just walk around, explore. And I didn't really realise what the game was. So I was like, okay, the narrator wants me to go this way. I'm guessing there's nothing on the down the right door. And then we got to this bit, and my friend said, like, hang on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So I was going to do that, and my friend said, disobey him. There's two choices, even though he's telling you there's only one, there's two choices, go downstairs. And I was like, yeah, but the game's telling me to do this, because I was used to how, you know, games have a linear pathway. So I was used to that. So I was like, well, I don't really get... I can't open my door. Well, I don't really get it. So this is the first ending that I ever got. So here we go. And I think it wasn't until after this ending that I kind of understood what was going on.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
What?
None of it made any logical sense.
What the?
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
No, you're not.
He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
Cool.
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
Okay.
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he
Oh.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
So cool.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Cool.
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently.
That
and he
garage has
invited
completely
himself to
disappeared.
wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream.
Okay.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Cool.
Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Okay.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
No, you're not. Because...
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name
Okay.
is
Oh,
Stanley.
the garage is
I
back.
have a boss. I have an office. I am
Oh,
real.
oh.
Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can
I don't
anyone
mind
hear my
this.
voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Okay.
And everything went black.
Hello?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Okay.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Okay.
She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yeah, I kind of forget how dark this game can get. There's a lot of themes of like death and like existential crisis and stuff, and I kind of forget that that's a thing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yep, he did. Because we're gonna do everything that he tells us to do.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Except-
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yep. Okay. Wait, have we heard all this before? before or after this now? I can't remember. I might stay quiet during this bit for a bit. But yeah, we're going to go to the mind control facility. And there's 2 buttons that were there.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Crap.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calm. Breathe in. That's the wrong way. Breathe out.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yeah, okay, I completely forgot that if you rush it, he picks up on it. I forgot about that. Okay, this we've all heard before, so again, just going to talk over it. But yeah, I did look through, because I always wanted to have this game on the channel, but
descending deeper into the
like watching the first half of this, I was like, it's kind of potato quality with this video, so that's why I've decided to actually just re-record it, like re-record this second half.
This now, when for years it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Cool. Hello.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Okay,
Facility.
this is another ending as well, but we're going to do this later on because that's quite a long one. Actually, yeah, so we're going to do the museum ending, but I am literally just going to walk through it quite quickly. But maybe as like an extra thing, I did, on the live stream, I did go through every single part of the museum. So I may add that as like an extra video or something after this.
The lights rose on an
just because I
enormous
think
room
that
packed
took
with
about
television
20 minutes,
screens.
half an hour.
What horrible secret.
Can I go through? Oh, okay, so I have to wait for you to finish talking. Right, I thought I could just get through everything. Apparently there's a way to get down there.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
But I
Their
don't
true
know how
nature
that is. I
revealed.
didn't look it up.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Because I don't think it's an
Stanley's
ending, I think it's
co-workers.
just another like
The
Easter egg
lives
thing,
of
like
so
the broom
many
cupboard.
individuals, one
Oh,
of
it's
them,
there.
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Kevin Brighton's voice is amazing. His narration's so good.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yeah, because you're a video game character. It's only been until I came along, like me the player, that he started thinking for himself. But until that point, yeah, he was just a video game character. There's a film coming out, well, it was supposed to come out in July, I'm not sure now, but a Ryan Reynolds film called Free Guy, which literally reminds me of this. Like, he plays, again, he plays a background video game character who becomes sentient and actually decides that he's going to be the lead character and have his own story. Reminds me a lot of this.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink
Facility
in,
power.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Don't really feel like it, to be honest, mate. Gonna be completely honest. Also, I want this TV in my room or in my house. It wouldn't fit in my room. It wouldn't fit. Actually, I don't really think it would fit in my house. I live in quite a small house. Don't even think it would fit. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to do this.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Cool.
You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
Oh yeah, don't worry,
I'm
we
afraid
will
you
later
don't
on.
have nearly the power you think you
We
do,
will
for
later
example.
on.
And I believe you'll find this pertinent.
Yeah.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
One out.
nuclear detonators are set to explode,
Okay.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Not really.
It's your time to shine.
Not
you
really.
are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I don't want
this
this.
is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious
Hey.
moments each one of them is. More time
Hey.
to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this
Yellow
means,
4.
I barely know where to start.
There's still the dot.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Yeah.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Yeah.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
Oops.
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever,
Okay.
pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Which I think is what we did a
Other
minute ago.
times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather
Can I go
amusing.
down there?
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even
dude.
better. My goodness,
Dude.
only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so
Help.
much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some
Did I do
extra time
anything?
on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Oh.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
Oh, the ground's shaking.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing
I love
in
the
this room.
music.
These
So
number
good.
buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button.
This
Or
one
this
here.
door. Everything, anything. Something
Yeah, I
here
tried the
will
door.
save me.
You shut
Why do you
it.
think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? One soul?
Let's just stay here.
Have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Okay.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first.
Okay.
So you can't.
Here we go.
Take a look at the clock, Stan.
Here we go.
That's 30 seconds you have left to
No,
strike.
there's no point.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No
There's no
end.
point.
Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing
Help
at
me.
every second
Help
of
me.
your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever